Hey guys of YouTube, this is EasyPlease23 here, and thank you for clicking on the video. I just finished watching Voltron Legendary Defender. It's the Netflix exclusive, I guess we can call it a reboot, although it's more like a retelling of sorts, but there are certain things that I'll get into. I'll try not to spoil anything, because there is something in here that is slightly different. I don't know if that's spoiler territory or not. I still have to find out if it's okay to say that or not. If it's a really big plot point. But I guess I'll get to that in a minute. So Voltron has indeed come back. This is like the third iteration that I'm aware of, but there are of course all sorts of other iterations. There was the car version, and there's like a 3D version. There was a live version. There were ones that weren't as popular. For those, of course, as you see on the screen, this is the new Voltron. He's CG'd, kind of. He's not drawn. They stopped really doing that after the first one. So, what is our story? Well, our story focuses around our squad, of course. Our squad happens to do, well, here's all their in their colors. There are certain colors match their lines. So our five are 5 humans, and everything really begins at an academy where Lance, Pidge, and Hunk are students, and they're going to become, like, I guess space police. I guess I could put it. They're going to become like space police. They're training for that. And Keith, our dude in red, who was part of he was like the ace pilot, but he left because he was a rebel or something. They didn't really knock on that much. He just kind of disappeared, and Lance said something about it. And in the middle is Shiro. Shiro is, well, he was part of a team, well, a 3-person scientific squad that went missing on Pluto's moon when they were abducted by aliens. Yeah, they fight aliens in here. And from as far as I can tell, planet Earth is not very advanced because space travel is still very new to them, because they did this little thing where they find the blue line, and the blue line is able to fly out to Pluto's moon. And Pidge happens to mention, wow, it would take our ships like weeks to get here, or days, and then compared to like the Lion who got here in 5 seconds. So we're probably the least advanced space species. Camera is still trying to focus on my face or not. So working on that. So the Shiro gets abducted. He actually gets abducted with Pidge's family, Pidge's brother and Pidge's father. They're abducted, and then Shiro winds up crashing back onto Earth. It all takes place, the beginning part begins on Earth as we're introduced to our characters, our squad. After that, they stumble upon the Blue Lion. The Blue Lion then takes them to Eris, and then Eris is where they meet Allura. And I actually forgot to grab Allura, but I'll show you what new Allura looks like in a minute. So I'm not, well, it's only often happens in the show, you know, they learn to go as a team, and they fight stuff as Voltron. And this was really good, but I'm really here to focus on, I guess it's going to be the differences between our newer Voltron and our old school Voltron, and then I'll throw in Voltron Force. Yeah, as you can tell, yeah, that's, for most people who remember, Voltron Force was the exact follow-up to the original Voltron. At least that's how they wanted it, because the pilots were supposed to give up their seats to newer pilots in Voltron Force. So that was their premise. And there is a new mechanic in Legendary Defender where our crew here, not these guys, in this little pocket thing here, they have these black, well, depending on their color, black, green, yellow, blue, red. Shiro technically doesn't have one. His right arm is because when he was captured, like, I guess he fought in an arena, and then he wound up just like losing his arm. So he's got this badass robot arm that like lets him slash through stuff and hack things. So that's his. But the others have these little handles they grab onto, and it forms a weapon. Pidge has like it's like a grappling hook that also like glows, and it's like a taser gun. Honk has like a Gatling gun. It's like a really big ass. Well, it's a Gatling gun. It's big as shit. Lance has like a rifle. It's like a big old shoulder rifle. And Keith has a sword and a shield. But it's more of the sword. They all have like a shield that goes on their left, like it's on their left forearm. You can't really see it in these things because there's nothing that glows here that shows something there. And they all have their own personalities. Shiro, he's like the really strong leader, and he's kind of battling the like traumatic stuff that he went through as being held captive. Pidge has a secret in the beginning, and well, the big secret is she's a girl. Yeah, she had to actually use. That's a kind of a spoiler, I guess, but they really reveal that really fast. So it's nothing that's really that driven. That's gonna like change anything. If anything, now people's fan fictions are gonna be like, yeah, now, well, it doesn't have to be guy on guy stuff. I'm talking about fan fiction in here. So Pidge is your brain, just like it was back in the day, and Honk is your big lovable idiot who's very good with tech. Well, he's good at building things. He's not. I think he's almost as smart as Pidge. Pidge is probably more computerized. He's more technical. This is how and he's always like motion sick, and he has like fat jokes because he's kind of a lard ass, and he like jokes about it. And he's like the one where everyone will say something like, "Oh no, oh crap," and then he'll be like, "What am I supposed to say here?" Everybody said everything. He's kind of like the pressure release valve. Keith is like the stone cold second in command type. He's the loner. And then Lance is like the goofy, wants to be in control, wants to be the man, but he's not the man. But he really wants to. And he's like really hungry for ladies because he really likes chicks. That's like his vice. So when we look at them, we have to think about the first crew. Here, the color scheme here seems to make sense, but it doesn't. In the actual show, Keith was the leader, and they replaced Shiro. That's his real name. He was Shiro in the Japanese, I believe. And Americanized him and made him Sven. And then Sven had this weird European accent, and then he died. So then Allura wound up taking his spot. And as you can tell, that's Allura. She's pink. And then their suits made no sense. Well, Honk's and Pidge's did because they were in the right suits, because yellow and green. But for some reason, Keith was in black and Lance was in red. And no, it's not because Sven was dead. Sven had the black uniform, but he was always in the blue line, and Lance was always in the red. So it never really made sense why their costumes never matched. They got rid of that when it came to Voltron Force, because that was the step afterwards that they were linking to it, because then their uniforms were what they were to their lions. And then, of course, this is the reboot. They're color coordinated to their lions, as you can see. They're all for that. With their, and of course their whole thing with the lions was the red lion is very impulsive. It needs somebody who can handle him. And then the blue lion, the blue lion didn't say what it was because Lance made the thing where he's like the most sexy, the most awesome, and then they just ignored him and they moved on. And it's like yellow is the most caring, green is the inquisitive one, and black is the leader, because black is the best one, because he's the biggest and he has like stuff. So the differences in the suits, the original Voltron, he had blazing sword and the shield for as much as I can remember. Other than that, I can't really speculate because it's been so long since I've seen the original one, because it did show up in the early 90s, but I was real young. So, at least in the American version. So here, we get a little taste of the paladin. They're called paladins, the lion tamers, the pilots. They're called paladins, and their things, their weapons, they're able to jam them into the little console, and then it gives them a weapon. For now, we get red and yellow's weapon. Reds happen to be blazing sword, but it's just more like a blazing katana. It doesn't resemble the Voltron sword. The Voltron sword had there was like the weird spikes on top, and then there was like come down to like another handle. That sword is gone. Now it's a streamlined katana, at least for this one. And they don't call it a blazing sword either. They just call it a sword. So there's slight variations because they kind of want to be their own Voltron, but they're staying pretty solid to the main thing here. And I guess I can call out Voltron Force because these guys are actually going to have, because they have variation, they have more weaponry, I guess. Compared to Voltron Force had the ability to. Black is not just the head anymore. Black actually can become any body part and then let that body part take over as the head, and that gave him different abilities. Red gave him pistols, green gave him the ability to have this weird shield thing, yellow had giant maces, blue had this like ice trident. Each had to do with their element and what they were good at. And then black was the blazing sword, because that was the thing. Now, there came the little fan service parts in here, because it's like infracells up, mega thrusters are go. That saying to form, and then I'll form the head and all that never came into play here, because they would like quickly form Voltron. And that was actually a joke in Voltron Force, because the kid Daniel, who was going to take over Black Lion or whatever, he was the one who went and said, "Don't you guys ever get attacked when you're transforming?" And they're like, "That never happened to us before." Well, that problem isn't in this new Voltron, because they form really fast, and then they're ready to go. They don't say, you formed legs, you formed an arm, I'll form the head. They just go for it, and they're done. But there is infracells up, mega thrusters are go. One time when the castle itself actually began to fly, because then they threw that in there. So, and also if you want the original Voltron like trumpet summoning, that's not in here. No, I guess they didn't want to use it, but I kind of missed it. But that's just a small little gripe. I have to look up Allura for you guys. Because Allura is actually very different than her other counterparts. Yeah, here she is in the back of... Well, this is her. Yeah. So, pardon that. So, she does not pilot a lion, but she does have, like, this mystical power. Also, her people are part chameleon, so they're able to, like, grow, and they're able to change their skin tones, and she also seems to have combat training, because she can whip some ass. She did whip a little bit of ass. Not... Of course, she's nothing like... she's probably an improvement over this Allura. Not this one. This one they made her better, and she's like more combat-oriented, but that's just what they had. So that's Allura. She's more... She's very princessy. It's just she's the one who's driving them, because she knows Voltron is the savior of the universe and things. Oh, and then there's the second in command dude. They changed. What's his name? Crone. I can't remember his name right now, but he's usually just like Alfred, and he's usually calm, and he like directs them to things. The difference here in Legendary Defender was he was really outspoken. He was a jokester. He would screw around a lot. So her butler of, I call him a butler. He's kind of a butler, but her butler he would joke around. He was screwing with his mustache, because he was a redhead in here. He wasn't grayed out and older like he was, because these two were asleep for 10,000 years, Allura, and so it's like they let the evil people run around for about 10,000 years. So Voltron was built 10,000 years ago. And that's what you get in here. So that's your crew. And they actually have a lot of similarities to these guys in Voltron Force. Voltron Force, see right here, they all have a little forearm thing. That's pretty much what these guys have inside their pocket here when they pull out their weapon. And then these things would give them weapons that were very specific to their user. just like them. They have a very weapon that's very specific to them. So these guys have a lot of similarities to them. Well, it's kind of funny because, well, these guys are supposed to have lots of similarities to these guys because they were the step up, and this is the reboot. I'm just gonna call it the reboot. Was it good? Yeah, I liked it, and it's an 11 episode series. Episode 1 is 1 hour long. The rest are about 20 minutes. One was 17 minutes, I think. But it was all really good, and episode 11 ended on like a cliffhanger of sorts. So now I'm hoping for season 2, and I hope people watch it because I happen to find it, and for some reason I really like Voltron. I don't know why I'm so drawn to Voltron, but even though it's minus like blazing sword and the things that I was used to and the things that I got used to because of Voltron Force, which is very sad that they got canceled because of their bad ratings. I hope that doesn't happen to these guys because I hope this continues. I like Voltron. So Netflix has usually been really good with picking their series. I was not expecting Voltron of all things to show up on here. You know, even then I was like, oh, okay. But it's like, okay, a series, sweet. I enjoyed it. I hope other people enjoy it. I hope I have convinced you to watch it or at least give it a try. It's an anime. It's not an, you know, that sometimes that turns people off because it's like, ooh, anime. I don't see the difference. You know. So what? It's just giant robot kicking ass. Lions kicking ass. If you like, if you've seen Voltron before, probably check it out. If you have never seen Voltron, this will get you into it, and it will get you to see what the Defender of the Universe is about, at least this season, and hopefully it can continue on to season 2. And and I would also like to throw in the fact there is a difference in like the origins, because here they're space cadets. At least they started out as space cadets that worked for Earth. And these guys, at least the way Voltron Force made them sound, they're actually from different planets. Pidge is from is like a technologically advanced planet. Hunk is from he's from like he's from another. They're all from other planets. And then Keith, they find out in this series that he's not really like from Earth. He's actually from somewhere else too. So they're all from different planets that put together and fight together. Here, for our newer guys, they're all from Earth. They're all from Earth, except and then of course Allure is the alien. So that was like the big difference. I didn't really have many gripes with here besides not having the music, but that's like a small gripe. Other than that, I'm probably gonna watch watch a couple episodes again because there was some cool stuff that happened in there. Other than that, I think you guys should check it out. It'd probably be good, and I'm really hoping for season 2, and I hope it comes quick. Yeah. If anything, let me keep that back up here. So, thank you all for watching this. I hope you check Voltron out. I sure checked it. I loved it. I was a little sad when I accidentally binge watched it too fast, and I finished it. 11 episodes probably isn't the binge watch, but I just slammed it down as soon as I saw that it was on there. So I'm a little pissed at myself that I finished it that fast. But at least get this up there, and I can tell more people about it and say that it's good, so people will watch it. And hope for season 2.